Detroit at Comerica Park. Middle game of this three-game set. We welcome you inside. Joe Davis with Eric Karros. Tigers got off to that red-hot start, but they've now dropped 4 in a row. They've stopped hitting while they've done it, but you look at this lineup and the guys that make it up, this team's going to hit.
It's definitely a deep offensive lineup. You can look at the addition of Yoenis Cespedes. He's leading the team in RBIs. And Jose Iglesias over at shortstop, he's known for his defense, but he's getting on base at over a 450 clip. Then, of course, you've got the 2-time MVP winner, Triple Crown winner, Miguel Cabrera. So that middle of the lineup, it's long, it's deep, there's not a weakness. They're going to be a very good ball club offensively this year.
Shift gears to the Indians now, a team that not too long ago, before this season started, a lot of people looked at as a dark horse to make some noise, not just in the Central, but in the American League overall. But so far, the offense has really struggled.
It really has. It's amongst the bottom in all of baseball when you're talking about runs, OPS, those sorts of things. And part of it is because 2 of their Silver Slugger Award winners from last year, Michael Brantley and Yan Gomes, they haven't been healthy. Gomes out until at least June. Brantley battling some back issues, but they showed some signs of life last night. Started swinging the bat a little bit, so you have to ask that question. What happens next?
Brandon Moss opens what happens next is exactly what happened last night. He went off in that 13-1 Game 1 win for the Indians. Couple of home runs for Moss. A career-high 7 runs batted in. The Indians try to win a series for the first time since the opening series, and they try to do it without Trevor Bauer, replaced by T.J. House on the bump. Game 2 about to get going from downtown Detroit, Comerica Park on a 44-degree Saturday afternoon. Terry Francona hoping that his squad can build off of the momentum that it got from last night's win, where they had the season-high 13 runs on a season-high 15 hits, and that included, like we talked about just a moment ago, Brandon Moss out of that 5 spot went 3 for 5 with a double and a pair of home runs, drove in a career-high 7 runs. The defense for the Tigers Around Alfredo, Simon, Cespedes, Davis, and Martinez in the outfield. Castellanos at third. Iglesias has been so good at short over the course of his career. Kinsler's been great at second. Cabrera's the first baseman, and Alex Avila does the catching. The 33-year-old right-hander Alfredo Simon, who Eric is trying to become the first Detroit pitcher since the late 70s to win his first 4 starts with the team.
Right, acquired from Cincinnati over the offseason. This is a guy that's got 6 or 7 pitches. Not a lot of fun to hit against because it seems like he's just inventing things out there. He's got a nasty sinker, a very good split finger, and if we're lucky enough to see it today, we might get an opportunity to see the Ethos
All
pitch.
right. Which is basically just a slower version of his split. There's his manager, Brad Ausmus. Second season at the helm after an 18-year playing career. A couple of different stints here in Detroit. And has his team off to an 11-6 start. Terry Francona and the Indians 6-9. Francona turned 56 on Wednesday. Joked around that he feels like he's 80.
Well, with the way that they've started the season, although I think last night, he may have shed a few of those what would have been gray hairs if he had any left.
That's what the Central looks like right now, as those confident Royals have kept on rolling with a 1.5 lead over the Tigers. And today try to snap a 4-game skid that followed that 11-2 start. The Indians try to clinch a series win for the first time since they took 2 of 3 from Houston to begin the year. Up and down this lineup, guys underperforming offensively. That includes Michael Bourne, who comes hitting just 193. Alfredo Simon, big right-hander, making his second start against the Indians this year. Will get us going on this cold Saturday with ball 1 called by Chad Fairchild.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what type of control each of the pitchers displays. Because it's cold, it's dry, maybe difficult to grip the ball.
When we talked to Simon yesterday, most people say that the cold is harder on the hitters, right? Simon says that it's harder on pitchers. Now, he's a little biased. He referenced the fact that gripping that ball can be difficult in this weather.
Well, no question the grip, but I would have to say from a pain standpoint, more difficult up at the plate. Just because you hit a ball off the end of the bat or get jammed, those hands are cooked for the rest of the game.
Simon's 2-1. Hit on the ground to second for Kinsler. More in the first out. The Indians trying to get that offense going. They had 17 runs over the first 6 games of this current road trip before plating those 13 runs last night in the blowout win. Here's Jason Kipnis. Simon's first one. Strike 1.
This is a guy for me that's really going to have a productive year if the Indians expect to go to the postseason. A few years ago, the Indians decided that he was a guy that they wanted to build this organization around, signed him to a multi-year deal. But because of injuries, just hasn't been able to duplicate the year he had a few years ago.
Simon ahead of him 0-2. And he's got his first strikeout of the game. How about our keys to the game, brought to you by Ford?
Well, pretty simple. Got to continue to swing the bats, that Indian ball club, and especially today with Trevor Bauer being a late scratch on the mound. The Tigers, they got to turn up the heat. They started off extremely well offensively, but the last 4 games they've scored a total of 8 runs.
And have lost all 4 of those contests after the 11-2 start. Nobody on with 2 away, and here comes Michael Brantley. First one from Alfredo Simon. Fastball in for a strike. Brantley's a guy that started to get it going as he's started to feel better. Missed much of the first 2 weeks with a sore back that he dealt with throughout spring training. Coming off that monster 2014 season when he finished 3rd in the MVP voting. Simon's 0-1. Fades down and away. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I mean, just watch Simon and all of his pitches. There's nothing straight. Everything is moving. It's cutting. It's running away. It makes it very difficult for a hitter.
Bouncing ball up the middle that Kinsler can't get to, and Brantley's got a 2-out single. First base runner of the game is Michael Brantley, keeping the inning alive for Carlos Santana.
Well, this is a good approach by Brantley, where you're just trying to put the bat onto the ball. With a guy like Simon, as I mentioned earlier, ball moves around all over the place, and if you're trying to do too much as a hitter, that's going to get yourself into trouble. Just try and think up the middle, hard line drives.
There's Santana out of the cleanup spot. It is 100th career home run earlier this week. 3 long balls this season. Ball 1 with a shift on for Santana. Only one fielder on the third base side of second. One of 8 left-handed batters that Simon will see in the lineup today. A couple of switch hitters, Santana being one of them. But 8 different Indians will come up from the left side. Runner at first with 2 away. 1 ball and no strikes on Carlos Santana. Simon paying attention to Brantley, who's not attempted a steal this year.
And with a predominantly left-handed hitting lineup, the Indians need to take the ball to left center. Simon's going to throw a lot of those sinkers. The balls will be running away. The split finger, very effective against left-handed hitters from a right-handed pitcher.
He throws that splitter, Eric, more than any pitcher in the American League. Career splits, lefties, righties. This season, though, even more dramatic. Right-handers just 1 hit.
Well, and remember, too, he's coming from a ballpark playing in the National League Central, Cincinnati, one of the best hitters' parks in all of baseball.
Falling behind Santana 3-0. He had his first All-Star season last year in that ballpark for the Reds. Was signed back in '99. Debuted with the Orioles, and that had spent the last 3 seasons in Cincinnati. 3-0 on Santana. Brantley runs on a strike. So Brantley into second, an RBI opportunity for Santana.
Simon just focusing on throwing a strike. Doesn't give Avila even an opportunity.
Brantley at second with 2 away. Simon to Santana with a 3-1. Checked his swing on strike 2, but that bat went around.
Well, this is as a hitter, you'd like the home plate umpire to ask for help. You know, it's that old adage, you're watching the ball go over the plate as the umpire, and you're able to track whether a hitter went after the pitch or not. It's difficult. You'd like to have some help.
Simon's 3-2. Misses for ball 4. 2 of reach with 2 outs. I was here on opening day where Torrey Hunter thought that he had checked his swing, and the home plate umpire, instead of checking down to first, called it himself.
Well,
he just wanted to ask.
Yeah, I'd like him to ask, but this one is right down the middle. Watch his pitch run right back over the middle of the plate, and it's almost, you know, look at Avila. He boxes the pitch. If he catches it, it's a no-brainer. But that thing has got a good part of the plate. Chad Fairchild behind the dish. You know, maybe it's a makeup call for that check swinging call.
So a single for Brantley and a walk for Santana, keeping the inning alive for Brandon Moss, who had that huge night last night. A couple of home runs and a double. Simon's first one is cut on and missed. Strike 1. Came into the game with 1 home run and 2 RBIs for the entire season. Here's the 0-1. Bounces in. Avila does a nice job to keep it in front of him.
Literally, Avila just throws his body in front of that ball. Does a nice job of keeping the runner from advancing. Watch this. Look at it. I think he caught that with wrist or arm.
Guy's taken a beating over the course of his career back there. 7th year, all with the Tigers. 1 ball and 1 strike on Brandon Moss, with Brantley at second, Santana at first, and 2 gone in this first inning.
Simon had a little bit of trouble with his control, and that's where maybe what he talked about, not being able to grip the ball in this type of weather. Walked the hitter and thrown a couple of erratic pitches. Vila's done a nice job behind the plate, keep it in front. A good time to throw the splitter right here.
2-2.
It's a nice pitch right there. That's his go-to pitch. Knows that Moss is going to be aggressive on a 2-1. There you see the splitter grip. Thing just drops out of the zone. Now he can expand the zone, go with any one of the 7 pitches he has.
Two to Moss. On the ground to the right side for Cabrera, who feeds a covering Simon, and the inning is over. Indians get a pair of runners with 2 outs, but strand them both, and the Tigers come to bat after this. Well, Trevor Bauer went out, warmed up, tried to go, but feeling under the weather. So TJ House getting the call for his 3rd start of the season. Last minute, left-hander goes out there to face the Tigers team that lit him up just a couple of weeks ago. Faces Rajay Davis and starts off with strike 1. How about this challenge of finding out within hours of first pitch that you'll get the ball?
Well, I mean, it can work 2 ways. You know, one of the things that you can use to his advantage, he's struggled, House has, this year. Well, now he hasn't had to think about it. It's just come to the park, you're throwing today. So let's see what you got. He's got nothing to lose.
Behind the back, Ramirez not in time. Rajay Davis begins things for the Tigers with an infield single. As part of this Tigers lineup, They started the season 6-0 and average 8 runs per game during that stretch, but since then, only 3 runs per contest. Miguel Cabrera, the 2-time MVP, has absolutely destroyed the Indians this season to the tune of 12 for 18 with a pair of home runs, one of which came against T.J. House.
When you take a look at the replay here, you see he beats it out. Davis hustling down, easily beats it out.
So the leadoff man on for the Tigers. Here's Ian Kinsler. And there's strike one. Reached all 4 times last night. Couple of base hits, couple of walks, and snapped an 0 for 12 slide in doing so. The 0-1. Second season in Detroit for Kinsler. Came over in the Prince Fielder deal. Was an all-star last year for the 4th time in his career. House is 1-1. Cut on and miss, and the bat goes flying into the 5th row. Looks like it missed everybody. Turns into a souvenir.
Well, again, you're talking about just grip. And on days when it's cold, you put the pine tar on, you've got to add some rosin. Because sometimes that pine tar just gets real cold quick, and then it becomes slick. You can also put those, what Ian Kinsler just added, just a stick. You rub it on the handle of the bat. Again, you have to continue to do it because it hardens and becomes very difficult to grip.
Good lead at first for Davis. A 1-2. 2-2. After Kinsler, it'll be Miguel Cabrera. House comes home 2-2, and Kinsler takes it low to run it full.
Well, you mentioned House started earlier this year against Detroit. Only went an inning and a third. 6 hits, 6 earned runs, 3 walks, gave up a home run.
His payoff. Inside to Kinsler, ball 4. First 2 Tigers have reached. 2 on with nobody out for Cabrera. It's Indians defense around T.J. House. A couple of really good plays last night for this group. Jason Kipnis had a leaping catch. Brandon Moss, a couple of diving plays, and Michael Brantley's been so good during his career. It's something they've focused on heavily after being one of the worst defensive teams in baseball last year. So here's Cabrera, who homered twice against House in Cleveland earlier this year. Off speed to begin, inside, ball 1.
Yeah, this is not a good matchup at all. I mean, Cabrera does as good a job as any hitter in the game going to right center. There's a left-handed pitcher, especially a guy with not overpowering stuff. You want to stay away from the right-hander. You can't get inside on him because you don't have the stuff to go hard enough. I mean, this is just a bad matchup.
It's a tough matchup for just about anybody.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's a bad matchup.
Yeah, it's
I'm
a
not
bad
saying
one.
that this is just not. It's just
2-1. Among active players, nobody has hit the Indians better than Miguel Cabrera. The guy on deck, and Victor Martinez, second among active players against the Indians as far as batting average.
You got to hope for a ground ball double play,
which he's hit into several times this year, tied for the league lead.
Well, he's done a nice job. Both those strikes down around the knees, if not even a little below. See Cabrera's success against the Indians. A man on deck right there. Victor Martinez right behind. The House has got to stay down. Stay down.
Is 2-2. Just off of the inside, and it goes full on Cabrera.
The House is making some great pitches. Just off the plate. Great hitter like Cabrera able to take it.
Inside ball 4. He didn't miss by much on any of those pitches. Cabrera, such a good eye, draws the second walk, and the bases loaded for the Tigers with nobody out.
Well, that's one of the things that makes this lineup so difficult to pitch to. We've got Cabrera and Martinez, both very disciplined hitters, both guys that can drive the ball as well as any two hitters, but they don't expand the strike zone. So as a pitcher, you legitimately have to throw the ball over the plate. Unless you've got great stuff, difficult to get big league hitters out.
So Eric, significant switching from Bauer to House for Victor Martinez, a switch hitter battling a sore left knee, and it hurts him, or at least bothers him more as a left-handed hitter. But with the lefty on the mound, switches over to his more comfortable side. And takes strike 1. With the bases loaded, 4 grand slams in his career. Single for Davis, walks for Kinsler and Cabrera. Tigers with a chance for a big inning to get it started. House is 0-1. The average down for Martinez this year at 214 as he's continued to play through that sore left knee that he had repaired in the offseason. Second time he's had it operated on. House is 1-1. And Martinez pulls a base hit into right field. Davis is in to score. Kinsler's in to score. And a 2-run single for Victor Martinez makes it 2-0.
Well, he shoots this ball to right field. You see the ball is down. It's actually in a little bit. Inside outs, it shoots it over Santana's glove at first base. You know, House has not made that bad of pitches this inning. Remember, the leadoff infield single, that doesn't help things. Then the 3-2 walk to Kinsler, the full count walk to Cabrera. Martinez finally gets him.
And now J.D. Martinez taking a strike. J.D. Martinez has reached in 7 games in a row, leading the team with those 5 home runs. House is 0-1. Bouncing ball to third. Chisenhall goes to second for 1. Kipnis to first, and it's dug out of there by Santana for a double play. And a big one for T.J. House.
That's a great pitch by T.J. House. Chisenhall does a nice job getting it over there to Kipnis. Santana scoops it out at first base. Was not a great feed. Kipnis does a good job, though, being able to turn it. You know, you talk about the Indians' defense, and that was something that, you know, obviously very questionable last year. It's a big double play right there.
The Tigers had several double plays during that Yankees series they're coming off of to kill potential rallies. Here's Cespedes taking ball 1. 292 in his first season with the Tigers. Acquired in the Rick Porcello deal, the Red Sox over the offseason. 1-1.
Well, if I'm T.J. House right now, I'm nibbling, right? Cespedes is a very dangerous hitter, hitting 6th in this lineup.
In the air to right center. Moss is back on it, calling off Bourne shy of the track to retire the side. But the Tigers get a pair on a Victor Martinez single and lead 2-0. 2-0. We get ready to start the second on Negro League Tribute Weekend near Comerica Park. You see the throwback Negro League uniforms. David Murphy takes ball one. They're wearing the Cleveland Buckeyes unis from the 1940s. Tigers have the Detroit Stars uniforms on. Sharp look.
Really is a good look. I like those hats.
Yeah.
Detroit has.
Ball and a strike on Murphy. 6, 7, and 8 for the Indians in this inning.
The only difference, they're not all wool. Although today might be a good day to wear.
That. Yeah. Alfredo Simon falls behind Murphy 2-1. Murphy started to swing it well. 5 for his last 10 coming into this game. 2-1 from Simon. Popped up. Back of third. Castellanos over to give it a look. Unable to pull it in. And it's 2-2.
That ball's got to be caught. I mean, as high as that was, and Castellanos had to run a long way for it, but here's Simon out there. Granted, he's playing a little bit off the line, but as I said, that ball was up there for a long time.
Yeah, long enough for him to get there and short-armed it. 2-2. You give him another chance. Yeah. Down the line with Cespedes coming on, and neither one of them makes a play. It falls between them, fair for a base hit.
Well, Murphy must have seen something on that foul ball. Figured he'd go right back at him. See, that ball hits fair. Castellanos just not getting back there quick enough. Just inside the line.
And so Murphy's aboard to begin this inning. In front of Lonnie Chisenhall.
I was going to say, if Castellanos isn't loose, he's loose now.
Yeah.
That is one thing playing in this type of weather.
Chisenhall lays it down. Simon barehands it. A nice play.
That's it,
Chisenhall.
Yeah, that's a great play by Simon. Not only to get off the mound, but be able to grip the ball cleanly in this type of weather. I mean, that's difficult enough when it's 80 degrees. But he gets off the mound. Watch this. Bare hands a moving ball. Gets a good enough grip. Makes a strong throw. Now, Simon probably saying something like, look, that's how you move over.
33 years old. Started his career in 1999. Signed out of the Dominican by the Phillies. Here's Brett Hayes, the 8-hitter for the Indians, playing in just his 3rd game this season. Attacks the first one, fouls it back. Now, catcher's a spot where the Indians, coming into the season, they look at it as a strength with Yan Gomes. But Gomes down with a knee injury. He'll miss 6 to 8 weeks. And so it's Hayes splitting time at that spot with Roberto Perez. Simon's 0-1. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
You mentioned Hayes, only his 3rd start of the year. They do miss Yan Gomes. Yeah. You talk about an irreplaceable player on this ball club. He's about as close to one as there is.
So 1-1 upstairs, and it's 2-1 on Hayes. Simon 30 pitches into this outing. Retired the first 2 in the first inning, then gave up a single to Brantley. Walked Santana before getting Moss to ground out to get out of that frame. Now Murphy's at second with 1 away. And a 2-1 to Brett Hayes. Swung on and missed. It evens up.
As I mentioned, the approach with Simon is not to think that you're going to go drive the ball into the alleys or hit one out. I mean, if you do, that's really by accident. What you're trying to do is just make sure you're making good, solid contact. Again, it's cliche, but not try to do too much with a guy like this, just because the ball is constantly moving.
2-2. On the ground left side, Castellanos has this one, checks the runner back and throws low, but Cabrera digs it out and gives a check at second to Murphy. Pitch, hit, and run presented by Scott's is the official youth skills competition of Major League Baseball. It's free for boys and girls ages 7 through 14. Play your way to the national finals. Have the chance to compete during All-Star Weekend in Cincinnati. You can find a local competition in your area at pitchhitrun.com. So 2 gone in this second for the 9-hitter Jose Ramirez. Strike one, and the 22-year-old moved into the starting shortstop role last August when Asdrubal Cabrera was traded to Washington. He made his first opening day roster this year. Simon's 0-1.
There it was, the ephus. Ephus pitch, a slower version of, I don't know what, almost looked like a splitter grip.
Yeah.
That thing just floated up there. Avila doesn't call for that either, the catcher. That's just something that Simon does on his own.
Bouncing ball to first for Cabrera. He'll feed covering Simon to finish the inning. David Murphy with the leadoff single, but he's stranded at second. 2-0 Tigers to the bottom of the second. Into the dugout trying to stay warm with the temperature in the mid-40s on this Saturday afternoon. Alex Avila swings and misses at the first one from TJ House. 7, 8, and 9 for the Tigers in the second. They put the first 4 on against House in the first. They get a pair on a Victor Martinez single. The 0-1 on the edge, strike 2.
To House's credit, he's making some very good pitches. Not staying at all in the middle of the plate. He's hitting corners, he's up, he's down. You just got to give credit to the Tiger hitters as far as being disciplined.
Yeah, he just barely missed a few times in that at-bat to Cabrera. Borderline pitches led to a walk.
You know, it's not as if somebody's been crushing the ball against House right now. At that infield hit, that Victor Martinez inside out swing that just got over the head of Santana at first base.
It's 2-2 to Avila. Fouled off. Avila in his 7th big league season, all with the Tigers. Scheduled to be a free agent at the end of this year. With initial contract running out. House comes home 2-2. Strike 3 with a breaking ball. First punch out of the game for TJ House. One away in the second.
That's a nice pitch. He'd been down in the zone. This is a breaking ball up. You see Avila freezes on it. He knew it.
And he's now 0 for 4 as Avila in this series has struck out all 4 times. A 13-1 win last night for Cleveland. Nick Castellanos accounted for the only Tigers run with an opposite field solo shot. House is 1-0. Outside, 2 balls, no strikes, and a guy in his 2nd season as the everyday third baseman, and they're seeing some good strides from him.
He's moving around better defensively. Offensively, as you mentioned, the opposite field home run last night. You got to really hit it to get it to that part of the field, let alone with this weather. But you see, hitting in groups and watching guys like Cabrera and Martinez and the way they go about their BP, JD Martinez as well. The inside out swing, keeping your hands inside the ball. He hit that ball out to right center yesterday, and watching tape of it, it was middle in, but still strong enough to drive the ball and keeping his hands inside to go out to right center.
Bangs this 3-1 on the ground to second. Kipnis across his body in time, and off a bounce Santana picks it. Jason Kipnis shows good range for the second out of the inning.
Well, Kipnis shaded a bit, but still does a nice job of a quick first step, gets it over Santana. Santana does a nice job of picking it. Castellanos not enjoying the start of this game today. Foul ball that just eluded him, and then what should have been a base hit. Sprint down to first, talking to yourself the entire time.
Been there before?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Jose Iglesias, how about the start for this guy? 392, 2nd in the American League. He's more known for his glove.
Yeah, he's really been a pleasant surprise for Brad Ausmus. It's amazing. You look at the walks to strikeouts, 6 walks, 4 strikeouts. He's going to put the ball in play, but he's been hitting it hard. Not there, though.
TJ House with an efficient 2nd inning of work. 1, 2, 3. Good. The Tigers on just 15 pitches. Michael Bourne steps in to lead off this third inning for the Indians against Alfredo Simon. Couple of shutout frames for the right-hander. And fades one low and away for ball one to Bourne. When we talk about this Indians lineup, trying to get things going, 10th in the American League, averaging under 4 runs per game. Getting Michael Bourne going to lead off that lineup could go a long way. One hopper to Iglesias for the first out.
Yeah, obviously just setting the table for the hitters behind him, but the threat to run the bases, to steal, he just hasn't been able to get on track. Looked great over the winter. Terry Francona talking about seeing him and then in spring training, but just nothing so far this early part of the year.
He even acknowledged it this week. Somebody asked him, what's it going to take for this offense to get charged up as Kipnis takes a strike, and he said, if I get going, the team will get going. And he said he'd seen it before at previous stops in his career. The Phillies, the Houston. Ball on a strike on Kipnis now. Kipnis slices a liner off of the glove of Iglesias, and that should be a base hit. It was positioned shaded towards the middle. Kipnis reaches.
Coming out the left-hander's bat, this thing is going towards left field, just running away from Iglesias. That's where they're going to have the success, the Indians, if they're just taking the ball back up the middle. The left-handed hitters are thinking left center. That's the approach you have to have against a guy like Simon.
Michael Brantley singled his first time, now 8 for 13 in his career against Alfredo Simon, who's facing the Indians for the 9th time in his career. ERA close to 5.5. The 33-year-old. Kipnis at first with one away. And a 1-0 to Michael Brantley. In there for a strike. Good numbers in his career against Detroit. 7th season in the majors, 4th as an everyday starter. Former Brewers farmhand was traded for CC Sabathia 2008.
Well, with Gomes out, he really becomes the offense, or what the offense revolves around. And he can do so many things. He can hit for average. He's got some pop. He can steal bases. He really had it coming out of his own season last year.
Simon's 1-1. Off speed misses away. 2 balls and a strike on Brantley now. I mentioned that CC Sabathia deal that brought him from Milwaukee. At the time of that deal in July, it was actually for a player to be named later. The stipulation in the deal was that if Milwaukee made the playoffs, then Cleveland got to choose who the player to be named was. If they didn't, then Milwaukee got to choose who they'd ship to Cleveland. And they just barely made the playoffs. And Cleveland chose Brantley. Hunter takes off on a strike. Throw to second from Avila is not in time. And a steal for Jason Kipnis.
Nice job by Avila right there. It's a good throw down there. Kipnis doing an excellent job of getting a jump and going in there head first. See, on the outside part of the base, the furthest away from the throw.
It was pretty close.
It really was. Almost like you tagged him before he hit the bag. You know, the hand was up, giving the illusion that he had made contact. Brad Ausmus decided to let that one go. too close to try and overturn that. Not definitive enough.
Here's the 2-2. Brantley pulls a bouncing ball, base hit into right field. Kipnis getting the wave. Martinez throws home, and it's cut off by Cabrera. They catch Brantley in a rundown, and he's tagged out by Iglesias. But an RBI single from Michael Brantley brings in Jason Kipnis, and the Indians are on the board. 2-1 here in the third.
Well, a lot of good things happening right there. Brantley doing a nice job of not trying to get greedy, just driving in Kipnis from second base. JD Martinez coming in, hitting the cutoff man. Cabrera doing a nice job of leaving his feet, getting up in the air. Take a look at everything here. Brantley getting it down there. Cabrera after the ball. Now he gets in a good cutoff position. Martinez hits the cutoff man. Cabrera, athletic, gets up. Gets Brantley in the rundown. And Brantley, it was a decent job. He was reading it. He saw the high throw, so he's thinking, I'm going to go to second. You know, the thinking was right in just about all of the facets of that play.
And leads to the Indians' first run, and it leads to Carlos Santana. Ball and 1 strike with the bases empty and 2 outs. Walked his first time. Top 5 in the American League with a dozen walks now this year. Chops one to short. Picked up by Iglesias, and the inning is over. Indian strike and a base hit from Brantley. 2-1 game in Detroit. Goal. They lead 2-1 as we start the bottom of the third with Rajai Davis taking strike 1 from T.J. House. Davis had an infield single his first time and scored the Tigers' first run. 1 ball and 1 strike. What do you thought of T.J. House so far with a tough task today, getting the call about an hour before game time with Trevor Bauer getting scratched?
I like the start so far. You know, it starts off the game with an infield single, and it was a good pitch. Then he goes 3-2 on the next 2 hitters. He's been around the plate. Nobody's hit the ball hard against him at all yet. I mean, I think T.J. House, he's been great, especially considering his last outing against Detroit, which, as I mentioned earlier, only 1 1/3 inning.
He's made 2 starts overall this year, has House, and has an ERA above 14 coming in. He's run it full on Rajai Davis. The rotation for the Indians has been the strong point with Kluber and Carrasco. Salazar was so good last night. Bauer's been one of the best in baseball so far. But House has really been the weak link to the rotation. They had pushed him back to Tuesday. Wasn't going to start until midway through the Twins series, but forced into action today. Coming up next, our Major League Baseball doubleheader continues with the Subway Series. Game 2 between the Mets and the Yankees. Coverage begins next on your home for baseball every Saturday, Fox Sports 1, and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Matt Harvey, CC Sabathia, Game 2 of that set. The Yankees took the opener 6-1 last night. Good for baseball. Those two teams are both at the top of the divisions.
Mark Teixeira having a great game last night. 2 home runs for the Yankees.
There's Kinsler, who walked and scored in the first. Yeah, both those teams in first place, or at least tied coming into the series. First time that's been the case with them meeting up since interleague play began. And both, for different reasons, surprising. Largely the Mets surprising because of the division they're in. You had the runaway favorite in the Nationals, who have been pedestrian. A lot of people like the Marlins coming into the season. The Mets have stolen the show there, and the Yankees a little bit surprising. Some of the guys you mentioned, Teixeira, obviously Alex Rodriguez, both having good seasons so far despite aging.
Hey, Alex Rodriguez got off to a real hot start. You know, the last week or so he struggled a bit, but Mark Teixeira has picked it up. It's an experienced team. There's no question about it. Jacoby Ellsbury's been great. Tanaka.
1-2 on Kinsler. Yankees came in here this week, dropped the opener against Detroit, but then ripped off 3 in a row. Davis at first to start the inning. Here's House's 1-2. To the start for the Mets, though, I mean, is this something that you think is for real? Is there going to be a regression some?
I'm not so sure that the pitching holds up all year. It's a young group. It's an inexperienced group. I'm not so sure that this is their time. But it definitely has, you know, the makings of a core group. That,
right.
You know, whether it's next year or the following year, you get some support pieces.
One of the impressive things is that they've done it with several key injuries. Their captain David Wright is out. Pieces of the bullpen that they're missing. Still off to the best start in Mets history coming into the weekend. 2-2 to Kinsler. Runs inside, and House finds himself with another full count.
And see, if anything, that's been the trouble so far for House. Gets ahead in the count. He's just not able to put guys away. 3-2 count again for the second time against Kinsler.
He shoots one foul. We'll do it again. 4th at bat. The TJ House set a full count in over the first 2+ of this game. As a result, this will be his 50th pitch already with nobody out in the 3rd inning. Davis a healthy lead at first. And another 3-2. Strike 3. 3rd punch out of the game for House as Kinsler takes a seat.
That's a big pitch for House, not only because he strikes out Kinsler, but it's off the plate. That's ball 4 right there. But Kinsler expands his zone, so instead of 1st and 2nd, nobody out, and Cabrera coming to the plate. Got 1 out, got a potential double play situation. It's amazing how one pitch can change the whole complexion of a game.
Davis working hard over at first. 3 steals and 4 tries for him this year. It's, you know, the Tigers roster has evolved so much. This edition of the roster much better defensively and a lot better team speed too. Davis part of that, being his 2nd season with the Tigers.
Well, the top of the league in stolen bases this year.
He takes off. Cabrera takes a strike, and Davis by a mile has a stolen base. His 4th of the year.
Davis doing a nice job of reading House. That's what he's out there for. He's out there to create havoc on the bases. He's even looking in there. You look at the slide again, head first. You know, the only thing about that is you've got first base open now. House can start to nibble some more. Because if he puts Cabrera on, you bring Martinez to the plate. Double play candidate.
House to Cabrera. Way outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. 6 straight seasons. Rajai Davis with 30+ stolen bases. Nobody else has done that, at least actively, in Major League Baseball. He was saying earlier this week that he's noticed over at first, the area around first base, harder this year at Comerica Park, as this roster has been built with more of a speedy personality than in years past, where it would be softer when they didn't need to steal any bags.
That makes a lot of sense. You should have some sort of advantage in your home ballpark.
The 1-1. Floats inside. Cabrera's ahead in the count.
And I think you look at those last 2 pitches. Those 2 pitches are a result of Davis stealing second base. They haven't been close. And here we go. You're going to turn around and intentionally put him on first. Again, it's nice that Davis steals second, but you've got to look and say, okay, what is this going to lead to? And it effectively says, we're not going to let Cabrera hit.
So he'll walk for the second time. They'll bring Martinez up. So there's the intentional pass issued. And the Game Changer profile today is brought to you by T-Mobile, official sponsor of Game Changers. Couple of the top 3 in the MVP voting last season in this game. Of course, Mike Trout won it. We told you Michael Brantley finished 3rd, but it was Victor Martinez leading the majors in OPS, finishing 2nd behind Trout. The best season of his career. Off to a slow start this year, fighting through that nagging sore knee. Another RBI chance for him. 2-run single back in the first. Strike 1.
Like that. You know, and again, you talk about the knee issues. Anytime a hitter has lower extremity problems, that's going to sap the power. It's going to take away, and we've seen it so far early on in this season. You know, the slugging percentage way down for Martinez. You know, and as a hitter, you have to change your approach. And the reason I say that, you've got to just become the contact, the RBI guy. Become more of a situational guy. You've got to let the ego, you know, go to the back and try and hit it hard. Line drives.
Shoots one towards center. That'll sink in for a base hit. Davis hits 3rd and comes home without a throw. And Victor Martinez has knocked in all 3 Detroit runs.
Or hit it off the hands and just serve it up the middle. Anyway. And there's a nice job of making contact. You know, that's one of those things that's more lucky than good or intentional or anything like that. This is where TJ House makes a good pitch, and he's not rewarded for it. And the reality of today's ball game is TJ House has been around the plate, hasn't given up anything that's been hard hit. His trouble has been because of the walks.
He's issued 4 of them. And pitching coach Mickey Callaway's out there for a quick talk with him. Two starts this season for TJ House. prior to this one. His first one was against the Tigers. Then he really struggled against Minnesota. But these were the numbers in his first start of the season down in Cleveland. Went just 1 1/3. Gave up a pair of home runs to Miguel Cabrera. In fact, the only 2 home runs that Cabrera's hit this year have come against T.J. House. Zach McAllister getting loose. What could be a long day for the Cleveland bullpen. J.D. Martinez, the batter now, and ball 1. On the Tigers during the losing streak, runners in scoring position hitting had been an issue. And today, 2 for 4 in those situations after a 2 for 23 stretch during the skid.
Well, they're getting some timely hits today, both obviously by Victor Martinez. The walks have hurt House. Again, he's had 0 luck. 0 luck today. And see, for him to be effective, he's got to get that pitch. You know, Victor Martinez, he threw a ball that looked lower than that. Chad Fairchild gave him the strike. That pitch right there, did not get it.
Line to left. Brantley moves over, slides it, makes the play. Springs back to his feet, fires it into second. Martinez, the second out of the frame, and up comes Cespedes.
That's really an excellent catch by Brantley. And the reason I say that, because of the long counts, the walks. As a fielder, especially in this weather, you can get complacent out there. You kind of drift a little bit. You're thinking, man, can somebody throw a strike? And geez, it's cold. And then when the ball's hit like that, you just don't react accordingly. But Brantley did a great job. Made a huge catch here.
2 gone for Cespedes, who flied to right his first time. You know, along those same lines, and it's not as big of an issue today because House isn't a high strikeout guy. But overall, the Indians have recorded almost 1/3 of their outs via the strikeout. You're standing around a lot when that's the case.
And we spoke to Terry Francona prior to the game about that. And he said one of the things, though, that he felt helped his ball club, these whole new pace of play rules. And the fact that the pitcher has to get the ball, the hitter has to be in the box, so it speeds up the delivery time in between pitches. Well, because of that, then the fielders are ready. They're not watching the pitcher walk around. I mean, I know that was something as a former infielder, standing around out in the field, and whether you have a guy that's striking out a lot of guys or walking, you do get lazy out there, and then a ball that's hit a foot to your right or left, you miss it, and the pitcher's all upset at you. Yeah. You're saying, well, geez, get me involved.
Cespedes hops out of the way, and it evens up at 2-2. Terry Francona, like you said, told us, a fan of these pace of play rules. It was obviously going to take a few days at least to get used to, but I think you're seeing a lot of hitters finding themselves, in pitchers too. It just kind of becomes habit. You don't take as much time. You're used to only spending a couple of minutes between innings. Cespedes drags one slowly to third. Chisenhall has no play with a bit of a juggle, and Cespedes good enough speed to make that enough.
They mentioned Chisenhall doesn't field it cleanly, but Cabrera running right through the path. Now, he doesn't interfere at all, but that is disruptive as an infielder. Doesn't make a clean swipe. Cespedes, he's sniffing a hit all the way. He's getting hard out of the box.
They rule it a base hit for Cespedes, so the bases are loaded against House. For Alex Avila, who has struck out in all 4 at-bats in this series. Games on average about 8 minutes faster than a season ago, averaging 254. These pace of play initiatives put in place by Rob Manfred, Major League Baseball. House to Avila with a 1-0. Avila chops one to second for Kipnis, and that will end the inning. Tigers add one and another Victor Martinez RBI single, and through at 3-1. Of America supporting their mission and helping young people to reach their full potential through programs that promote character and leadership, education, healthy lifestyles, and more. For more information, visit foxsportsupports.com. Joe Davis, Eric Karros back in Detroit. Start of the fourth in a 3-1 game. 5, 6, and 7 for Cleveland. Brandon Moss will lead it off against the shift and against Alfredo Simon, whose first pitch is low for ball 1. Moss grounded out to first his first time after a monster night last night. A couple of home runs and 7 knocked in. That's Castellanos, the third baseman, that moves over to short right field, and that allows the shortstop Iglesias to play where he normally does, instead of moving everybody out of position. Here comes the 1-1. Behind it, 1-2.
When you see Simon staying away from the left-handed hitters, again, as a guy getting into the box, you've got to recognize that. You try to pull him, the best you're going to do is ground out to second. Try and go to left center. I know that that's not something that Moss likes to do, but getting some work in behind the plate. You know, and that's the thing. We talked about Simon having 6 or 7 pitches, throwing the ball all over the place. A lot of movement. It's almost like he's just out there inventing stuff.
Yeah, the guy who's supposed to face today is the one who has the reputation for having 18, 19 different pitches, and Trevor Bauer. Bauer's scratched, feeling under the weather. TJ House gets the ball instead. But you said it, Alfredo Simon himself, a pretty large repertoire of pitches. He said that he feels it out as the game goes on, and a lot of it is contingent on the individual batter that he's facing. This ball's driven the other way to left center. Cespedes moves back on it at the edge of the track for the first out of the inning. I thought it was interesting in talking with Simon. He said he's never been a big scouting report guy. He's never been a big video guy. A lot of what he does as far as his approach and facing hitters is a feel thing based on seeing stances and seeing how they react to his different pitches.
Well, and again, you get into all these guys approach situations differently, whether it's up at the plate or out on the mound. And sometimes you go to your strength, not the other opponent's weakness, but your strength. And that's what Simon tends to do.
Murphy takes ball one. Is it becoming harder and harder to do that as the information becomes greater and greater?
Well, the information becomes greater and greater. It's how you utilize that information is what makes the difference. I mean, it can become paralyzing in some respects.
Cespedes again. Murphy's retired, 2 away.
And when I mean paralyzing, it's that old adage, especially when you get into the box, paralysis by analysis. You can do all the work and then you go out and you just let things happen. But if you're thinking so much, sometimes that'll interfere. Now, I'm not talking about shifts or scouting reports, but say, for instance, if you get a guy out or this guy has he's a deficiency against a slider, but your slider's not working that day, then don't throw it.
Lonnie Chisenhall takes a strike. The game's hard enough to begin with, right?
Well, it is. I think what, all the information that we have now, I think it allows us to make more educated decisions. Because a lot of times what we think we see is really not happening. We think we saw that, but that's not really what happened. And when things are broken down or when they're analyzed or when they're numerically supported, it creates a different approach.
No, it didn't miss by much. Chisenhall lives to see another pitch. 1-2.
Started a little high, but it's a good 0-2 pitch.
Looper. 1-2. Simon trying to work the first 1, 2, 3 inning of this game. Yeah, brings it 2-2. Chisenhall pulls a 2-hopper to second for Kinsler. 1, 2, 3 go the Indians in the fourth. It's 3-1 Tigers. MLB.com/franchise4. You can cast your own ballot. Winners will be revealed during the All-Star Game, July 14th on Fox. Some of the candidates for the Indians franchise 4. And log online to cast your vote for your franchise 4 with your favorite team. New pitcher into the game for the Indians. TJ House replaced after 3 innings by Zach McAllister, who opened this season as the 5th starter but gave up 5 runs on 13 hits against the Tigers back on April 10th and has moved into the bullpen and gets a swinging strike from Nick Castellanos to start his outing.
And McAllister started 15 games last year, gave up more hits than innings pitched. Big right-hander. I thought House pitched relatively well. I mean, he didn't have any luck at all. Strike zone was relatively inconsistent. Didn't give up anything that was hard hit.
All 3 runs against him came off Martinez singles, Eric.
Yeah, how do you think that went? Just show up at the ballpark and feeling, all right, you know, I got that start Tuesday. By the way, you're pitching in an hour. Huh? It's the Tigers, that team that you struggled against at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, right.
Thank you very much, Tito.
It was scheduled to start Tuesday and pressed into action today with Trevor Bauer out sick. So the bullpen having to carry a big load today. 1-2 from McAllister. Castellanos down on strikes, and a good start for Zach McAllister. 1 away in the 4th.
It's just a fastball that rides up and in on Castellanos. He just can't get to it. Well, swings underneath it.
That lineup you mentioned that they said, oh yeah, TJ, you're going to have to face today. It's 9-hitter. Comes into the game hitting .392, second in the American League. Jose Iglesias, who took strike 3, called his first time. Back after missing all of last season, stress fractures in both shins. Was acquired in a 3-way deal from Boston during 2013. Almost gets hit by this one. It's 2-1.
That would not feel good on a day like this. It's the last thing as a hitter you want. Anything off the end of the bat or getting drilled by a ball.
Bounced over the mound is second. Kipnis charges across his body. He's had a good day defensively so far. And 2 gone in this 4th inning. Today's game on Fox Sports 1 is brought to you by Chevrolet, the official vehicle of Major League Baseball. A chilly Saturday in Detroit. I mentioned not wanting to get hit on a day like today. I think it was Wednesday when it was snowing. David Price, first pitch that he threw, hit Jacoby Ellsbury in the chest. It turned to kind of check his swing, got him right in the heart.
Yeah, that's enough to just say, look, Joe, as in Joe Girardi.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go catch some time in the training room, get somebody else out there because I'm taking it to the house here.
Yeah, there's your sign if there's any. When you get hit in the heart by a pitch to start the day. Rajay Davis lines a single to center. He's reached all 3 times. Takes an aggressive turn and holds as Bourne fires it back into the infield.
Ball just hangs a bit. Davis does a nice job of staying on it. So this is a situation where we had, Davis in the last at bat, or last time he was on base, stole it with, then they ended up walking Cabrera. Now, if you want to steal, this is a great opportunity to do it. You've got 2 outs. You got Kinsler at the plate. If you're out, then Kinsler leads off next inning. You got Cabrera up following. If you do get down to second, you give Kinsler an opportunity to hit. If you walk him, then you got Cabrera up. I got to believe he's got to run. Has to attempt a stolen base here.
There he goes. Pitch down and away. Picked a good one to run out. And the throw bounces in. Rajay Davis with his second steal. And it's an RBI chance with 2 gone for Kinsler.
Davis does a nice job. Hayes, very difficult pitch to try to throw. See, now this as a hitter, now if you're Kinsler up at the plate, it's 2-0. You know, I mean, McAllister has to throw a strike. He does not want to go 3-0. So you better be loading up right here, ready to swing.
Pretty nice spot to hit on front of Miguel Cabrera. 2-0. Got that fastball down the middle and ripped it into the left field corner to score Davis. Kinsler will have extra bases. You called it, EK. Pretty comfy spot to sit in. 4-1 Tigers.
Ian Kinsler does a nice job of driving that ball to left field, but right now, or when he gets back in the dugout, he better go hug Davis. Davis created that at bat for Kinsler. And I say that, it's obviously getting down to second base, the 2-0 count. This is where Cabrera, now you watch Cabrera as we see another highlight here. Cabrera's getting nothing.
Second time they've walked him intentionally today with first base open. Here's the thing, though. You walk him intentionally to bring up the guy that's 2 for 2 with 3 RBIs.
But you have to look at the, again, that's where you look at statistically. You say, yeah, 2 for 2. But, you know, he has not smoked the ball. I mean, one was a jam shot. The other one was over the head of a drawn-in Santana at first base. I'm sorry, I'm not pitching to Cabrera ever. Period. End of story.
Especially the Indians, 12 for 18 against him this year. So first and second for Victor Martinez, who in the first, after Cabrera walked with the bases loaded, had a 2-run single to right. And they came up in the third after they had walked Cabrera intentionally and delivered another RBI with a base hit to center. Now it's 4-1. He's got another chance here with Kinsler at second. Cabrera at first. Martinez in his career above 500 against Zach McAllister.
Again, we're talking about a Victor Martinez that is having some leg issues. The slugging isn't there. The driving the ball is not there. You know, absolutely the right move right there to walk Cabrera.
And it's now to face left-handed Victor Martinez, which is not nearly as strong as right-handed Victor Martinez, because you've now got McAllister on the mound instead of the lefty House. The 1-0. Victor with a stare back towards the mound. It's been somewhat of a theme in Major League Baseball this year.
Yeah, I think McAllister, though, he's just trying to get in on Martinez right now. I mean, that just keep crowding him. Because, again, when you don't have your legs, I mean, that takes away a lot, whether it's power, whether it's quickness. I mean, you see, he set up outside, but that pitch was middle in, and that's a 2-0 count, and Martinez still not able to get to that pitch. You know, again, and we're not talking about Victor Martinez from last year to any of that. We're talking about Victor Martinez right now, who has lower leg issues.
Second time he's had that knee operated on. Had to miss an entire season with the first operation. And lines one to short for Jose Ramirez. The inning is over. Tigers add one and a Kinsler double. Lead 4-1 after 4. pitcher since 1978 to win his first 4 starts with the team. Been pretty sharp so far and ready to face 8-9-1 in this Indians order, with the catcher Brett Hayes leading things off by taking ball 1. Grounded out to third his first time. Only his 3rd game in an Indians uniform this year. His only hit was a home run. Simon's 1-0. Strike 1. One to Hayes. Chased it 1-2. Good late movement on that offering from Simon.
Well, it's amazing that Simon only has allowed 3 walks this year, 1 today, and he doesn't throw a lot of pitches in the strike zone, but he gets hitters to expand the strike zone. Constant movement, in, out, up, down.
Avila sets up inside, and he goes there for a ball fouled off. Still 1-2. Jose Ramirez to follow, then back to the top with Michael Bourne. Indians 1 run on 4 hits. One night after a season high 13 runs and a season high 15 hits. 1-2. A little bit up, and it evens up. .213 career appearances for Alfredo Simon, mostly out of the bullpen. Last year was his first full year as a starter in the majors. Tried to get Hayes to chase a breaking pitch, laid off, it runs full.
You know, this is where you really got to be disciplined as a hitter. You think 3-2, the pitcher's not going to walk me, he's going to throw a strike, but Simon is the type of guy that's going to throw something a couple inches off the plate, get you swinging.
3-2. Fastball chopped to short for Iglesias. 1 out. Well, tonight UFC 186 starts on Fox Sports 1. Couple of powerful heavy hitters square off in an all-out brawl. Patrick Cote battles Joe Riggs in a rematch 3 years in the making. Alexis Davis and Sarah Kaufman. Coverage of UFC 186 prelim starts at 7 Eastern on Fox Sports 1 and streams live on Fox Sports Go. Jose Ramirez out of the 9 spot. Looks at a strike. You know, the Tigers dropped 4 in a row after that 11-2 start. They've had to overcome some things. Obviously, no Justin Verlander so far. They've had to replace the Cy Young winner in Max Scherzer. Rick Porcello, who won 15 games, is gone. But Alfredo Simon, along with Shane Green, who got lit up last night. Outside of that start, though, those 2 guys have been really good moving into those spots vacated in the rotation.
Yeah, they've done a nice job this early part of the season. You see Price and Greeny right there. And you talk about it, you know, this is a team last year, 3 15-game winners in Verlander, Porcello, and Scherzer, and they opened this year without any one of those 3 on the roster. On the active roster, I should say. They haven't seemed to miss a beat yet.
Here's ball 4 to Ramirez. Only the second walk issued by Simon. You know, Simon and Green, even with Green's rough start last night, combined coming into this game, 6-1 with a .258. Those 2 guys. But you know, lately, after a pretty good start, pitching has struggled. Really, everything has struggled for the Tigers over the last week or so. After that 6-0 start and an 11-2 start.
Again, you're going to have those 4, 5, 6 game stretches throughout the year, and when you have it in the middle of the year, it just kind of seems to get lost.
Yeah, it's magnified now because it's all you got.
Yeah.
Same thing with the Indians. Do you think that the reason that, I mean, is this who the Indians are, or is this part of the ebbs and flows of the season that's magnified because it's at the beginning?
I think their pitching will be better than what it's shown. I mean, offensively too. I'm not sure where they are offensively. I think the weather will have something to do with it. But again, if Brantley is battling a back injury all year, those can be debilitating. The Yan Gomes injury, that throws a loop into everything. It hurts you in so many ways. Offensively, defensively.
Nick Swisher started his rehab last night, AAA, had a few hits, and is set to at least go to Cleveland early on next week and establish a rehab plan moving forward. Michael Bourne out front behind 1 and 2. Swisher had surgery on both knees during the offseason. They would love to have Yan Gomes back early June. He said initially after that injury 6 to 8 weeks, and that'd be about in that range.
But you've got to remember too, even if he's back then, I mean, he's coming off the knee injury.
Right.
So it's not like you're going to get a healthy, ready to go. You're going to get a guy that can play, which is a lot different than 100% Yan Gomes. And then you're playing a taxing position as far as catcher is concerned. And then you're going to want the offense. It's just a lot to ask.
Outside on Bourne, evens at 2 and 2. A thing that they've got going for him is starting pitching. I think that's a lot of the reason that folks liked them as a team to make some noise in the Central this year. Kluber, Carrasco, been as advertised. Salazar was so good last night after a really rotten spring. He's been good. And of course, Trevor Bauer has been fantastic. Bourne down on strikes. Second K for Alfredo Simon, and 2 away in this 5th inning. Sports Illustrated picked the Indians to win not just the Central, but to win the World Series this year, like they did in 1987 when they finished about 40 games out of first place.
Yeah, Indians fans hope that it doesn't turn out the same way. I don't think it will. Look at the other drawback the Indians have is they're playing in the most competitive division in all of baseball. You could make a case for 3, maybe even 4 teams winning that AL Central. And it just, when you're constantly beating up one another and even the angst amongst the teams, I mean, that wears on you through the course of a season. I mean, it seems like every team is a rival with another.
Jason Kipnis fouls it back, 0-2. Every team is a rival with, has a team they're rival with, and then the Royals are rivals with everybody,
yeah.
It seems. Heard the guys during the pregame discussing the suspensions that have been passed down. Yordano Ventura, 7 games, the heftiest of the suspensions from that brawl with the White Sox.
I think that's sending a message of, especially to Ventura, hey, look, maybe what you did wasn't so bad, but look at the history that you have, you're going to wear it here. I mean, I still will say that when the ground ball was hit back to him, who was that? Who was the hitter?
Adam Eaton.
Adam Eaton definitely said something to Ventura, and Ventura responded. And what you would like to have seen is just Ventura in his mind, saying, yeah, whatever, dude, just run down to first. But instead he became very vocal, and that's what was played on all the media outlets. And again, his history. People are going to try to antagonize the Royals. They just can't react. They got the reaction ought to be just going out and continuing to win. When you try to get into these, the war of the words and the beanball stuff, you're not going to win that battle.
Ramirez held at first by Cabrera. Here's Simon to Kipnis with a 1-2. It's hit foul. Coming into the weekend, Royals had 9 ejections this year. The next highest total, San Diego with 3.
Well, all that tells me is that they just don't know how to respond yet, or they're still learning how to respond. I mean, they've been hit more than any other club, or as many, I believe CJ said it on the pregame, as many times as Texas.
Yeah.
And I get it. They feel like they're targeted and they've got something to prove. And some of this stuff has been warranted as far as them retaliating. You know, other situations, especially the incident with Lowry in Oakland, I think that they carried that too far. They hit Lowry, and then that should have been it. So, anyhow, we'll see. Long year to go.
Tigers will see the Royals in Kansas City this coming week. We'll be back here in 2 weeks. Kansas City comes here to Comerica.
So what's that? That's 7 games.
Yeah.
Probably about 12, 13 days. I mean, that's. You're going to get tired of seeing one another that often.
Regardless of
right.
You know, if it's a team like the Royals, it seems to be stirring things up. Seventh pitch of this at-bat from Alfredo Simon to Jason Kipnis. A runner at first and 2 gone in a 4-1 game, top 5. Another 2-2. Runner takes off, and a bouncing ball slowly hit the second. Kinsler transfers quickly and gets Kipnis to end the 5th inning. Halfway home in Detroit, 4-1 Tigers. Tigers with 4 in support. 2 in the first, 1 in the third, 1 in the fourth. And J.D. Martinez set the lead off this 5th inning against Zach McAllister with a wicked cut and strike 1. Martinez is 0 for 2, bounced into a double play, and then hit one of the screws that Brantley slid down to catch and left. McAllister's 0-1. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Martinez, who was one of the great surprises in all of baseball last year. The Tigers signed him late in spring training after he was released by the Astros. Here's a 1-1. Checks a swing and a strike, 1-2. Entered last year, a career .250 hitter. Went on to hit .315 with the Tigers a season ago after starting that season in AAA Toledo. Quickly was called up, tore it up. Swings and misses at a fastball for strike 3. He's the first out of the 5th.
McAllister throwing that high riding fastball. So this thing just coming back over the plate. Used one earlier against Nick Castellanos to strike him out up and in, and here he's able to go after Martinez with that same fastball. A lot of life on that thing. It really seems to tie up the right-handed hitters, especially if he can start in the middle of the plate and it runs in.
Here's Cespedes. He's 1 for 2 today. Fly to right in the first, singled in the third. Infield single. McAllister replaced T.J. House after 3, who replaced Trevor Bauer as today's starting pitcher. Bauer, one of the best in the American League so far this year, but feeling under the weather today. And House getting the ball instead. So you go from a guy who has the best numbers in the American League in most categories to a guy who's got an ERA above 14 as your starting pitcher, and do it against a lineup stacked like Detroit's.
Well, how do you think Detroit's feeling? They're coming to the ballpark. It's not weather conducive to hitting because it's cold. Ooh. You think you're going to face Trevor Bauer, who has got the lowest batting average against of any starter, 125. You're just going, oh man, this day. And then, hey, no, you're going to face the left-hander that started against you earlier in the year that you had some success against. I mean, I'm taking the left-hander. No disrespect to T.J. House, because I thought he did an excellent job today.
Cespedes flies one to left center. Michael Bourne will run under it. 2 up and 2 down in this 5th inning. And Trevor Bauer, who is one of the top prospects in all of baseball, 3rd overall pick out of a place, a little bit, UCLA a few years ago. Started his career with the Diamondbacks, came over to the Indians, and has seemingly figured things out early on this season.
Well, he really has, and he's basically been unhittable. You mentioned the 125 batting average against. Only 2 extra base hits has he allowed this year. Control's been better, not great, but better. He gave up 5 walks in his first start, but since then he's settled down. And Terry Francona told us in spring training that in 27 innings, Trevor Bauer walked only 1 hitter. I was like, come on, no way. Yeah.
You don't know.
You sure about that? Are you sure? Yeah, I looked it up, and sure as heck, 1 walk.
He said they worked a ton on him in spring training on just locating that fastball. There'd be starts where he'd throw almost exclusively fastballs and get lit up at times because of it.
Well, yeah, and you look at the numbers. He gave up 7 home runs in spring training. So it was. I don't think Terry was fibbing around with us today. I think he was telling us the truth. All fastballs, but it seemed to have worked this early part of the year.
3-1 on Avila. Hitless today, hitless in this series. Averages dropped below 200 for the year. 3-1. Cuts and misses. It's full. That fades away, ball 4. Avila's aboard for the first time. And it brings up Nick Castellanos, who accounted for the only Tigers run in last night's game. You mentioned it earlier, taking a pitch that was middle in the other way for a home run.
Yeah, and that just shows you what kind of strength he has, what kind of power. Also, his ability, as we talk about, to stay inside the baseball. And nobody does it better than his teammate Miguel Cabrera. And meaning inside, not coming around, drags the barrel. And what it does is it allows the ball, you allow it to travel deeper into the zone, which gives you more time to react, gives you a chance to see it, better against off-speed pitches because you're not out in front. Now, I remember having a conversation with former Tigers manager Jim Leyland about the best right-handed hitter he'd ever seen with power going the other way. And he he said Miguel Cabrera, and I said, I agree. I would have to say, though, a former teammate of mine who should be and will be in the Baseball Hall of Fame, Mike Piazza. But those two guys, I marvel at the ability, the mechanics to go the other way with power. And guys like this, these younger hitters, Castellanos, they do drills in the cage. We were watching today prior to the game, just working on keeping our hands in.
It's the second time Mike Piazza's come up today. First time was about you guys listening to Dr. Dre on the way to the stadium, right?
The Chronic album back in '93.
Top down, riding through LA. Yeah.
That's when Snoop Dogg was just a puppy.
2-2 on Castellanos. Avila at first, and 2 gone in the 5th. I said the knock on Castellanos as a rookie last year was that he would chase all too frequently, that breaking stuff down and away, laying off that some, not all the time, but improved in that regard. The numbers for the most part have followed early on in his second full season. And waits for another 2-2 from Zach McAllister. Got him. Bookend strikeouts on this 5th for McAllister. We go to the 6th in a 4-1 game. .41 Tigers on to the 6th. You can watch every out-of-market game live in HD on more than 400 devices with MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, and more every night on every device. Visit MLB.TV for details. 3, 4, and 5 for the Indians in this inning against Alfredo Simon. Michael Brantley has 2 of the 4 Indians hits today and takes ball 1. Singled in the 1st, RBI single in the 3rd, bringing home Jason Kipnis for the only Indians run. One day after they played at 13. A 1-0, 2 balls, no strikes. To Brantley. Hit in the air to deep right center. Martinez on the move towards the track, turns and watches it bang off of the wall. Davis plays the carom on a leadoff double from Michael Brantley, who I think is officially locked in and settled in this 2015 campaign.
Yeah, his back is back. I mean, he looks good right now, swinging the bat. He's healthy. Again, with a guy like Gomes, he and Gomes both Silver Slugger Award winners last year. Obviously, Gomes out for a while. Brantley, if there's a guy that can carry this ball club offensively, he's that guy. Again, he can hurt you in so many different ways.
He might need to be that guy for this team to survive what they're going through right now with a team-wide slump, at least prior to last night. Carlos Santana now taking ball one. I mean, everybody's going to slump, right? It's part of a season, but the issue for the Indians is that it's been everybody for the first 3 weeks of the season.
Yeah, you're not supposed to do it all at once. One or two guys can go down or slump or struggle, and some other guys will at least be hit, but it's been a collective effort.
1-0 to Santana. Top of the zone for a strike. Simon has now thrown 90 pitches. His season high is 109. That was on Monday against the Yankees. There is some movement down in the Detroit bullpen. It's Blaine Hardy getting loose. Simon's fallen behind 2-1. The bullpen, the weakness of this Tigers team. And of course, got the news that Joe Nathan will require Tommy John surgery as he was rehabbing down in Toledo. 2-1 to Santana. It's 3-1. So Joakim Soria has been fantastic in that ninth inning role in the place of Nathan. But now the task is finding somebody to get the ball to him. Those late innings.
Well, again, it's going to be a mix and match. Chamberlain is the guy right now. But as you mentioned, the bullpen has struggled. They haven't had to throw a lot of innings yet. They've still been ineffective. The ERA up there as far as relievers when compared to other bullpens. There's Jabba. Did a nice job last year. Kind of ran out of gas near the end.
(3-1) to Santana. Inside corner strike. It's full. Yeah, you mentioned, I think the most concerning thing about the bullpen at this point is that, yeah, they're one of the worst statistically in baseball so far, yet tied for the fewest innings pitched in the American League, so minimal exposure, and they've still struggled in the way they have. Starters have gone so deep into outings, they haven't had to expose them much. Big bouncer to second. Kinsler will throw out Santana. That advances Brantley to third. One gone.
Well, the only bullpens with higher ERAs, the A's and the Tampa Bay Rays. As you mentioned, it, as far as innings pitched, they're tied with the Twins as fewest innings in the bullpen. And we talk about the minute that you can't expect the starters to carry the bullpen all year long, and the bullpen will iron itself out. They'll develop their roles. Dave Dombrowski always does a great job of putting together a team. He'll be constantly in search of looking for somebody.
Brandon Moss 0 for 2 today after the 3 for 5 performance last night. Waits on this 1-0. Strike one.
That's that tough pitch to a left-handed hitter where it comes back over the plate. The right-hander starts that sinker right at the left-hander's hip. He gives up on it and gets the inner part of the strike zone.
1-1. 1-2.
See, that's just a great pitch. I mean, as a hitter, it's almost unhittable because you've got to trust that that ball is going to run back over the plate. If it does and you're swinging, great. But you get here and you're like, I can't do it. And you hold up, and then that thing gets out over the plate. You're like, oh, man.
With 1 out, a runner at third. Moss just trying to put it in play. 2-2 now. The Indians down 4-1, 6th inning. Lone run came in the third on a Michael Brantley single.
A great time for a split right now. Got Moss thinking about that ball that runs back out over the plate. Get him off balance here. Throw that splitter away.
Got it. Big time strikeout for Alfredo Simon. His third of the game and 2 gone.
Well, he goes to the splitter. You see the grip right there, and he had him set up. He had constantly thrown that fastball in that was running back over the plate. Worked him to a 2-2 count. Had Moss thinking, is it that fastball? Is it the splitter? You know, he can't cover all these pitches, and he gets him with the big strikeout.
100th pitch of the day for Alfredo Simon will be the first to David Murphy. Murphy's out in front of it, off speed, strike 1.
Well, you see the pitch efficiency that 5th inning. A little long for him, but for the most part, 14, 13, 15.
Murphy pops it up. Davis comes on. Kinsler gives way, and despite a leadoff double, the Indians turned away empty-handed. Alfredo Simon, 6 more solid innings. As we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. And April in the D has become an annual tradition around here with Fox Sports Detroit, celebration of Detroit sports. Always a great time around town. The Red Wings and the Tigers have created bobbleheads of the Tigers, the Wings, and the Pistons around town. Of course, the Red Wings' 24th consecutive playoff appearance take on the Lightning in Game 5 tonight down in Tampa. That series tied 2-2. I'd like to see one of those bobbleheads of Eric Karros. Iglesias fouls off the first one, strike 1.
Not so much.
Nope.
Not so much.
Anthony Swarzak into the game, replacing Zach McAllister, who went 2 innings in relief of TJ House. Swarzak pitched a scoreless inning last night in that 13-1 Indians win. Only threw 22 pitches, so available to give him some work here. Iglesias reaches out, flips a base hit into center. Well done. So far, one of the top hitters in baseball.
We talked about coming into today's ballgame only 4 strikeouts. Struck out his first time up, but has the ability to put the bat on the ball as well as anybody. You see this pitch out of the zone. Just sticks the bat head out there and gets the line drive single.
Right now sitting 3rd in the American League. How about the start for Adam Jones, Baltimore?
Yeah, one of the superstars of the game. Great personality out of San Diego.
Rajai Davis goes the other way. Moss comes on and makes a running catch. And Davis the first out of the 6th. Tigers in front of the Indians 4-1. We welcome you inside the broadcast booth. Joe Davis, Eric Karros. Tigers, pretty good response after their worst night of the season.
Yeah, well, they haven't been playing well as of late. Yeah. Offensively, just to be disciplined, to get some walks, to get some runners in scoring position. Victor Martinez, 2 big base hits today. Look, offensively, this is going to be a ball club that's going to compete all year long. They've got real length in the lineup. A lot of different guys can hurt you. I think for the Tigers, look, they're a better defensive ball club. They can beat you in different ways. They're more athletic. They're stealing bases. Can make things happen. But I really like that middle part of the lineup is as good as anybody.
Runner takes off, throw down to second, not in time, and another steal for the Tigers. It's their 3rd of the day. This is a team that has continued to evolve under Dave Dombrowski, but one of the things they've got this year that they've not had in years past is really good speed.
Well, and you remember, you go back to what Kansas City did last year in the postseason and how really they exploited the Oakland A's and John Lester in that wild card game. They did it with speed. And I think Detroit, that's just another element. They don't, especially in this ballpark, this place is not conducive to hitting home runs. You've got guys that can do it that no ballpark is going to hold, but then you add the element of speed, the ability to make things happen on the bases. Again, just tougher to defend.
They now lead the American League in steals with 17 as a team this year. 0-2 from Swarzak to Kinsler is at the knees for strike 3. Second time Kinsler's gone down on strikes. 2 gone in the 6th.
Well, now you're going to get a walk here, right? Anybody want to bet? Let's bet. Let's see. Anyway, we're taking. Don't you have to? No, you're going to go after him. Oh, no. That was just a trick.
That's crazy talk. Go after him.
Brett Hayes bent down and got there. He knew this was coming. Yeah, I do it all day long too. I mean, it makes all the sense in the world.
How many times in your career were you intentionally walked 3 times in a game?
Well, if you count Little League, then it's quite a few times.
Yeah. Were you the big bully in Little League that the other kids' moms didn't want their team playing against?
I was a nice guy. Trying to make everybody better. It's just fun for everyone.
And so the 4th walk overall for Miguel Cabrera today. 3rd time they've put him on intentionally because it's the 3rd time he's come up with a runner at second and first base open. 2 of the 3 times they've walked him, Victor Martinez is followed with an RBI hit. And even with the struggles the Indians have had to score runs this year, the Tigers would love to add some insurance. The struggles their bullpen has had. Again, Victor Martinez not nearly as strong from this side of the plate, struggling with that sore left knee. Why is it the back knee that takes the brunt of the force when you hit?
Well, that's a leg you push off of. And, you know, it's interesting because, you know, he's saying it's from the left side and it's his left leg. So, yeah, I get that, the push off. But also you're landing like either leg. Like, I don't know how it can't impact him.
Yeah.
Right-handed either.
Right.
No, it's just.
That ball's hit well. Moss back on it. It'll die, and he pulls it in to retire the side. Tigers put a couple on, but leave them there. We go to the late innings in a 4-1 game. Tigers in front of the Indians 4-1, trying to even this series at a game apiece. Back at Comerica Park, Joe Davis, Eric Karros, 45 degrees. Bottom third of the Indians order. It's Lonnie Chisenhall against Alfredo Simon. Bouncing ball that'll get through for a base hit to start this inning. And the 102nd pitch from Simon. Again, the season high is 109. That came on Monday in his last start. Wednesday on The Ultimate Fighter, after a devastating loss, the coaches' feud boils over and the house erupts. When the fighters hit the cage, one big mistake will cost the team everything. Don't miss an all-new episode of The Ultimate Fighter, Wednesday, 10 Eastern and Pacific, only on Fox Sports 1. Pinch hitter coming up for the Indians, Mike Aviles, in place of Brett Hayes, who was 0 for 2. And Terry Francona going for it here in the 7th. With his team down 3, trying to generate some offense. Aviles and his versatility has been really important with the injuries this team has had early on. Especially with Brantley out, he was another outfielder. It takes ball 1. 2:59 in part-time action. Tom Gorzolani getting loose. Left-handed pitcher, a weapon against this Indians lineup. Check down to first. Jim Joyce says that he offered. It's all you ask for, right? Just ask.
Well, that, as a hitter, that's all you want. You may not agree with it, but nothing worse than the home plate umpire refusing to ask. It's not going to hurt, right?
One and 2. It was Joe West on opening day here in Detroit that called Torrey Hunter out himself, said that Hunter offered against Joe Nathan, only batter that Joe Nathan will face this season. That ended that game. And Hunter was livid, showed it in his post-game comments. Joe West didn't ask down to first. Aviles with a hot shot to short that Iglesias pulls in for the first down.
Well, that's something that the Tigers did not have last year. And not to say that the guys didn't play shortstop well, but Iglesias is one of the premier defenders at the position. You know, he provides stability. He's got athleticism. I was talking to Omar Vizquel, the first base coach for the Tigers, and the great shortstop. And arguably, he should be in the Hall of Fame. But I asked him, I said, who does Iglesias remind you of? And jokingly, he said, me. I said, come on, Omar, is he that good? He said, yeah, he's that good. That's high praise.
Red Sox maybe let one get away. Jose Iglesias came over to the Tigers in 2013 as part of a three-way deal that sent Jake Peavy from the White Sox to the Red Sox. Abisail Garcia, the Tigers to the White Sox. Iglesias, the piece that wound up in Detroit. Solid 2 years ago for the Tigers, but then missed all of last season with stress fractures in both shins. Been so good so far this year. There's a 2-0. And it's 3-0 on the 9-hitter Jose Ramirez. As Alfredo Simon has now matched his season high with 109 pitches. Three and one.
Well, you see 110 pitches, relatively efficient, 63 strikes. You know, a lot of those pitches, though, that are strikes are out of the zone.
Castellanos had an adventure on a couple of pop-ups earlier today. Doesn't have to move as far for this one, and easily puts it away. So from 3-0 to 3-1 to a pop-out for the second out. And that's going to do it for Alfredo Simon. It's never flashy, never blows you away, but once again effective in his fourth start in a Detroit uniform. If the bullpen can seal it off, it'll be the first time since the 1970s a Tiger has won his first 4 starts in a Detroit uniform. at first and is replaced by Tom Gorzolani. Will face the leadoff man Michael Bourne. Lefty on lefty. Strike one. Well, a good left-hander in the bullpen is the recipe for success in the late innings against Cleveland. 8 left-handed bats, or 6 left-handed bats with a couple of switch hitters in this Indians lineup. Gorzolani, a guy the Tigers are counting on to be good in this bullpen. Drops one in. He's ahead 0-2.
Bourne's struggling, as we've mentioned throughout the show, and just feels like every time he's up there, he's behind in the count. Pitchers are making pitches. As a hitter, it's like a snowball. But you got to keep battling and just keep hoping the next pitch is going to be the one.
Threw him another breaking ball laid off. 1-2. First here in Detroit for Gorzolani. First year in the American League in his 11-year big league career. Here's his 1-2. Bourne takes it low. Second frame in a row, the Indians have had the leadoff man on, but in danger of stranding him for the second consecutive inning. 2-2 to Michael Bourne. Oh for 3 today, 0 for 7 in this series, and has himself in quite a hole early in this season, hitting just 183 as a leadoff man in this struggling offense. Trying to give Kipnis a chance in this 7th. Gorzolani with another 2-2. Off speed, curls outside, and it goes full. Now Chisenhall will get a head start at first.
Well, it's a good job of holding up and not offering it the pitch. I don't know if it's because he felt it was a ball or he wasn't going to be able to get to it. Nice location by Gorzolani.
There goes Chisenhall. Got him swinging with another off-speed pitch, and the inning is over. Gorzolani comes on and strikes out Michael Bourne. Tigers up 4-1. team and players all season with MLB.com At Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At Bat is up to the moment at any moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, StatCast, and more. Get MLB.com At Bat now. New battery in the game for the Indians. Roberto Perez replaces technically Mike Aviles, who had pinch hit for Brett Hayes. And Nick Hagedorn enters the game, the 4th pitcher today for the Indians, ready to face 5, 6, and 7 in the Detroit order. First up, J.D. Martinez. He attacks it, fouls it back, strike 1. Martinez 0 for 3 today, trying to extend the modest 7-game on-base streak. Hagedorn brings in 0-1. Nothing to 2.
Well, it seems like Detroit is winning by 10 runs.
Yeah.
It just feels that way. They've had a number of opportunities, left a ton of guys on base, but a 4-1 ball game. Indians have done a nice job of containing the damage. Starting with the announcement that Trevor Bauer, the scheduled starter, wasn't going to be able to take the mound. The Indians have had some opportunities. They ran into a tough Alfredo Simon today. Hagedorn in 6 innings pitched this year has given up 2 home runs.
Martinez down on strikes to begin the 7th inning. And time now for a game break. Let's check in with Kevin Burkhardt. Yeah, I know we're looking forward to that one, KB.
KB just sit back in the studio, eat, probably ordered a couple different plates already.
Yeah. Tough life in there.
I mean, really, seriously.
Here's Cespedes.
Big Frank probably sleeping in the watching games in the green room.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't spill all the secrets. Yeah. Sun's out here at least. 47. Heating up.
Yeah.
It's all relative. 1-1 on Cespedes. Yesterday was low 50s. We were down there during batting practice and it was pretty nice until the sun went down. Man, it felt like low 40s, high 30s at that point.
Yeah, it wasn't bad when as you mentioned, when the sun was out, but you get in that shade or when it went away. Wow. Again, it's just not real conducive for offense. I know last night there were a ton of runs scored. But as a hitter, I'd much rather hit in warm, hot weather than cold. You see 47, you got a little wind going. 47, but feels like 40-something.
That's Cespedes way out in front of it. And back-to-back Ks. Nick Hagedorn looking good.
Throws a nice breaking ball. You see this thing, it starts in the strike zone, falls out of it. Cespedes, everything out on the front foot.
You were talking about this Tigers offense, world beaters to begin, hitting above 300 over the first 12 games, but over the last 5 they've only scored 10 runs coming into this game.
Well, and speaking with hitting coach Wally Joyner the other day, he had mentioned that they had been hitting in the tunnel and in the cages the last couple of days because of the weather. They hadn't been able to get out on the field. And I know as a hitter, there's Wally right there. Great career with the Angels, the Padres, the Royals as well. But talking as a hitting coach, you like to get the guys out there on the field. As a hitter, you like to watch the ball travel. And there's something to be said about that. And yesterday was the first day, and last few games that the Tigers were able to get out on the field and hit.
Does that make a big difference?
It does. It just mentally, just being outside, watching the. You know, when you're hitting in the cage, you can see the trajectory of the ball, but you just don't get that true feel. And there's something to be said. Batting practice isn't so much, warming up, hitting. It's about feeling pretty good about yourself. You hit a few balls in the seats, hit some line drives. You're walking around going, all right, I got it today.
1-2 on Avila. It's like trying to work on your golf game in the Midwest in the winter, having to go to a golf dome. You don't have that problem in SoCal, but JD Martinez is a really interesting thing. Every game, every at-bat, takes notes down. He struck out the leadoff this inning and taking notes on that at-bat, what he saw from Nick Hagedorn. Going from 250 career hitter to hitting above 300 in the blink of an eye doesn't just happen. There's a lot of things beyond what you see on the surface to go into it. How about Hagedorn striking out this side, keeping the Indians in the game as we go to the 8th. Online and vote on. Here's some of the candidates for the Tigers franchise four. And you're living in a golden era when you've got 2 of the 8 candidates for the franchise four. The current roster: Miguel Cabrera and Justin Verlander. You can vote through May 8th. Selections will be announced in Cincinnati at the All-Star Game, which you can watch on Fox. Jason Kipnis against Tom Gorzolani. 1 ball and 1 strike. Jabba Chamberlain had started to warm, but if Tom Gorzolani can keep going, you want him to against his left-handed heavy lineup.
Well, you've got the 2 left-handed hitters before you get to the switch-hitting Carlos Santana. I think the way Brantley swung the bat, you got to keep Gorzolani in.
That ball took off on Davis. Good recovery speed to run it down for the first out.
Again, we talk about with the weather, even though the sun's out, the ball is not going to carry. It just isn't. It's an outfielder. You can play in, you can play a bit more shallow. And this is a guy that's had a heck of a day. But this is when you want to face him with nobody on. Michael Brantley has half of the Indians' 6 hits. A couple
couple of singles and a double. First one from Gorzolani. He's down and away for a ball. His double led off the 6th, but he was stranded. And Lonnie Chisenhall led off the 7th with a single, but 1, 2, 3 after that. Avila sets outside. Gorzolani fires one there that Brantley fouls back. 1-1.
His job. Yep. And he's the guy. I mean, Brad Ausmus telling us before the game that he was real excited with the way that he pitched last year. A little hiccup at the end of the year, that he was the guy. He's the best option out of the bullpen. He thinks he can do the job.
There's another ball well hit off of the bat of Brantley. Martinez on the move, not going to get there, and it rolls into the deepest part of the park. Brantley thought about 3, instead will hold up with a 1-out double, his 4th hit of the day.
Well, that ball well placed, hit well to right center, but you see it doesn't even get to the warning track. I mean, the way that ball was struck, you're thinking, man, that thing might have a chance, but just goes to illustrate how difficult it is to hit the ball for any distance today. Davis gets it in. Brantley smartly stays at second base.
And so what can the Indians do with it? Michael Brantley in this series 7 for 8. After start to the season where he was in and out of the lineup with those back issues, settling in now. Carlos Santana batting right-handed for the first time today. 0 for 2 with a pair of groundouts. A walk back in the first. Gorzolani brings a 1-0. Santana looks at ball 2. Indians would love to get some work done right now before Joaquim Soria in the 9th. It's perfect in that closer's role.
Well, Terry Francona just hoping Santana can get down to first base. Bring last night's hero Brandon Moss to the plate as the tying run.
(2-0). Santana hit it off the end of the bat, foul. 2-1.
There he is. See, and as a hitter right now, Santana up there 2-0. Now, if that pitch is right down the middle or inner half, then I can see going after it. But if that's something that's away, I mean, your job again is just to get down to first base, pass that baton, get that next hitter up there with Moss. Man, it wasn't a great hitter's pitch to go after 2-0.
So now it's 2-1. Here comes Gorzolani with strike 2. Santana more than 100 home runs in his career. But on a day where the ball is just not traveling, trying to set the table for Moss with the Indians down 3. 1 gone in the 8th inning.
They can get to a full count as many times as any hitter in the big leagues.
That's what he does here.
He's been there 3 times today. And that's the one thing, this guy can see some pitches. There is no question. He can see some pitches.
It's a big pitch coming here. Santana can reach. Brandon Moss would represent the tying run here in the 8th. Left-hander Gorzolani against the switch hitter Santana. Brantley steps off of second. And the 3-2 on the way. Line drive towards center. That's a base hit. Brantley will hold it third as Davis fires to the plate. Santana's done the job with a 1-out single. Tigers fans applaud Davis keeping Brantley at third, but he had no intentions of going home because the table is now set for Brandon Moss. And Jeff Jones, the pitching coach, will head out there to talk with Gorzelani. You figure they want to leave the lefty in the game to face a left-handed hitter in Moss.
Historically, Brandon Moss has only seen him one time. 0 for 1. But yeah, you just, with the way Moss is swinging the bat, especially with what he did last night, historically what he does here in this ballpark, you got to leave Gorzelani in there.
Well, Moss 0 for 3 today, but in his career, you mentioned it, in this ballpark, .465 with 7 home runs and 22 RBIs. That's in 11 games in his career in this park. He said that his slow start this year, he thinks largely is because of being too passive. All 3 hits last night came in the first pitch of the at-bat. So does Gorzelani know that? And be careful here. The first one, he swings and bounces it to second. Kinsler goes to second. Iglesias to first. Hits a double play. Well, he was aggressive, but he bounces into the 4-6-3 double play. Now Terry Francona sticking his hand up, saying, hold on.
That was a great job by Cabrera, stretching out, making the pick.
The twin killing kills the threat. 4-1, middle 8. Oh, 4-1 after the double play finished the frame.
Well, nice job by Miguel Cabrera, getting that stretch out, keeping that foot on the bag. A nice pick and just beating Brendan Moss, hustling down the stretch.
So to the bottom of the 8th we go. Brian Shaw comes into the game. The 5th pitcher of the day for Terry Francona. He'll face 8, 9, and 1 in the Tigers order. Castellanos fouls off the first pitch. 0 for 3 today. A couple of strikeouts. Facing a guy that saw more appearances last year than any pitcher in baseball. 80 times Terry Francona called on Brian Shaw. Spins one in for strike 2.
Again, we talked about it earlier. The Indians have had a number of opportunities It's still just a 4-1 ball game. It seems like, though, the Tigers are just beating the heck out of them. You know, I think on the whole, the Indians, they have to be pleased with what they've got out of their staff today. Again, you come to the ballpark, you think Trevor Bauer, yeah, we've got our guy that's as good as anybody in baseball right now going. And
popped up. Brandon Moss, the first out of the inning. Tune in tomorrow for Fox Sports Regional Network's telecast of the final game of this series. Coverage starts on Sports Time Ohio at 12:30 Eastern and on Fox Sports Detroit at noon Eastern. The finale of this series. The Tigers can hold on here. It'll be a rubber match tomorrow. Here's Jose Iglesias. He was 1 for 3 today with a single his last time. Fouls off the first one. You mentioned Trevor Bauer being the late scratch. Brian Shaw came with Trevor Bauer from the Diamondbacks in 2013. And has been heavily used since arriving. Two on Iglesias. Joakim Soria getting loose for that 9th inning. 6, 7, and 8 due up for the Indians. Murphy, Chisenhall, and then the catcher's spot, Perez now. It's a cue shot, floated to right. Brandon Moss is there. 2 up and 2 down.
Well, for the Tigers, couldn't have been scripted any better than the way it's gone up to this point, especially after last night's loss. You get a good start from Simon, something that you need. You wanted to see that. You didn't want to have Green, who had a subpar start last night, and Simon, you know, both guys that have been doing well. Simon continues his role. Pitched extremely well. Orsolani did a nice job. Now Soria to close it out. Offensively, they put together some good at-bats. Everybody's contributed. Stole some bases. Davis getting a spot at the top of the lineup today, doing a great job. All they need now is the win.
Heck of a day for Rajay Davis. His first start since Monday in the first game of the Yankees series. 2 for 3. A couple of singles, a walk sprinkled in there, and he scored 3 of the 4 Tigers runs. 2-1. Chopper to short. Off of the glove of Ramirez. Not in time. Davis too good a speed to have that mistake and still have time to recover from it. 2-out base runner for the Tigers.
It just pops out of Ramirez's glove. You know, sometimes that's what speed will do. And looks like he almost takes his eye off of it. Just assumes it's going to go into the glove. But remember, Rajay Davis started this game off with really what I'm not going to say it was a routine, but it was a ground ball to the shortstop that I thought would be an easy out at first. Davis beats it out. House ends up walking the next 2 hitters, and Martinez a big base hit.
This Indians team defensively last year was one of the worst in all of baseball. It's only their 7th error this season. And the 6th they entered the game with, tied for the 2nd fewest in the American League. Ian Kinsler has homered in his career against Shaw. Takes the ball on a pitch out.
Again, this is the same sort of situation. Davis is, you got to try it. You got to run at some point here.
2 steals today, 5 this year for him. Santana holds. Shaw delivers. Kinsler hits a cue shot that'll roll past the mound and be a tough play for Kipnis. And Kinsler's aboard with an infield single. His second hit of the day. And it keeps the inning alive for Miguel Cabrera. This time, nowhere to put Miguel. They've walked him.
Well, don't say that. Back in the day, we've seen Barry Bonds walk with actually the bases loaded.
That's true.
So there is. I mean, do I think it happens? Actually, I wouldn't. I don't think they intentionally walk him, but I wouldn't be surprised. He doesn't get anything good to hit.
Yeah.
Because it's that whole thing. Is there a base open? Well, there is. Third base is open. There is a base open. You just be awfully careful the way you pitch him. I don't think you throw anything. I don't think you throw a strike.
It's only the second time in his storied career that he's been intentionally walked 3 times in a game.
I don't know what everybody. They're all clapping because they think they're going to pitch to him.
Both runners take off. Pitches down and away. And now, why did you do that? You're right.
Why?
Now, of course, you're going to put him on, right?
Yeah, I mean that. So they're asking him if he appealed. Safe, yeah. See, he wasn't going to give him anything to hit. So they're not going to. So they don't intentionally walk, but still, he's going to get nothing. He's not going to get anything to hit. Just set up outside. Set up outside, move outside. I love that. I love when Miguel Cabrera does a check swing and then he appeals it back to the first base umpire. He calls for it. It's great.
Shaw's 2-0. Outside, 3 balls and no strikes. Now Davis reached on a 2-out error by Jose Ramirez. Kinsler then with an infield single, perhaps opening the door for the Tigers to widen this gap. 3-0 green light, and it's hammered to left center. Bourne running under it. Nothing traveling today. Just under it, and the inning is over. Why not give him a 3-0 green light, though? On to the 9th in Detroit. Yankees as soon as we finish on your home for baseball every Saturday, Fox Sports 1. Mets and Yankees, Game 2 from the Bronx. Meanwhile, ninth inning in Detroit. Joakim Soria on to face David Murphy, delivering strike one. And Soria has been so big for this Detroit squad. Joe Nathan at first placed on the DL, now lost for the season. Soria perfect in these opportunities.
Well, the irony too, Soria, 2 elbow reconstructions. Joe Nathan going to have his second reconstruction.
So Andrew Romine, as he so often does, a late defensive substitution at third for Castellanos. 1-1. 1-2. Chisenhall and Perez to follow as the Indians try to come up with the ninth inning rally. The Tigers 3 outs from snapping a 4-game skid. Not very good numbers for Murphy against Soria. These guys were teammates over the first half of last year. Soria was in Texas before he was acquired at the deadline by the Tigers. Here's his 1-2. Shot the other way, foul. We'll do it again. Murphy 1 for 3 today. Nice job to stay alive on a floater at just 70 on the speed gun.
Yeah, doing a nice job of getting to see another pitch. Again, you get a few guys on, you get the tying run to the plate. It seems like every inning the Tigers were leaving guys on base.
Another 1-2, and Murphy bounces one to Kinsler. 1 out. Murphy's gone and Lonnie Chisenhall comes up. Another great start for Alfredo Simon today, 6 2/3. And it was Tom Gorzolani providing the bridge, which at this point is the question mark for this Tigers squad. That bridge, a solid starting rotation to Soria, who's been so good in the ninth. But today Gorzolani kept the Indians off of the board, did his job, and teed up Soria. Strike one to Chisenhall. Strike 2.
Soria, again, not your prototypical closer with the overpowering stuff, but great control, ton of experience.
Roberto Perez will have his first at-bat of the day after Chisenhall. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here comes Soria. Softly hit in front of the plate. Easy play. 2 up, 2 down. Series finale tomorrow here in Detroit. Kyle Obstein gets the ball for the Tigers. Carlos Carrasco for the Indians. And barring a 2-out rally, that'll be the series rubber match between these AL Central foes. Perez usually the starting catcher. Brett Hayes got the starting nod today. Perez into the game in the 7th, now making his first at-bat. First one from Soria. Upstairs for ball 1. 2-0. 9-hitter Jose Ramirez due up next. Soria's 2-0. Right down Broadway for a strike. 2-1. Like you said, a guy that kind of bucks the trend, bucks the stereotype of what a closer is. That overpowering type. That movement, that location has been effective so far this year. He's fallen behind Perez, 3-1. Strike 2.
Well, this is the pitch Tiger fans have been waiting for all day long. The final out by Soria. Indians trying to extend the inning here.
Indians had their chances down the stretch. Base runners each of the last 3 innings, but nothing to show for it. The 3-2, and Soria strikes out Perez to put a capper on another save. And the Tigers have snapped their 4-game losing streak by beating the Indians 4-1 and setting up a series rubber match tomorrow. For Eric Karros and the rest of our crew.